Hey guys, it's Saturday, March 19th. I'm feeling pretty good. I just wanted to start by thanking all the subscribers and thanks for, we're getting there. It's not about how many, it's about how. And hopefully, some of the stuff is helping you along the way to better health and feeling great. A couple things. So, over the last few days, I've heard a lot of a lot of good talks, a lot of good things in the nutrition space, and that's what I wanted to talk about today: is nutrition or lack thereof. One thing that we've been told, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to question. They say all this shit that we can object to, and quite strongly, in fact. One of them is that they say that polyunsaturated fat is good for you, heart healthy, lowers your cholesterol. True, if you believe that's a good thing. Now, I did do a video about cholesterol, and the information is out there, guys. So, you know what? It's very subjective, very nuanced, and very contextual. Um, there's no absolute that the bad cholesterol is actually bad. And I did the video, so you can go back in the archives and check it out. What I wanted to talk about today specifically was seed oils, vegetable oil, polyunsaturated fatty acids, PUFAs. Um, Not good for you. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about is, in my opinion, and once again, we will say this: I am not a doctor, but I am changing my health and feeling amazing. And one of the greatest factors, I believe, is I have cut out as much as I can all man made, factory produced, good for nothing polyunsaturated fatty acids in the form of vegetable seed oils and the like. Now, why? Well, we can talk about chemical structure. We can talk about the nutritional value. We can talk about, how they are occurring in nature. And yes, we do need omega-6 fatty acids. They are essential, but we do not need them in the exorbitant amount that we are indulging ourselves with in the modern era. So, we've been talking about this, and the history of them doesn't go back very long. We did not have these seed oils a couple hundred years ago. They're very recent. They're very new. And if you want to look on the evolutionary side, maybe our body's just not able to handle the load that they are putting on us. Now, when we talk about polyunsaturated fats, what that means, saturated fats are stable. There are no carbon double bonds. They are structurally sound. They are solid at room temperature. You can tell. Butter, right? Perfect example. Coconut oil. Room temperature gets hard. Now, what does that say? Now, some people out there would say that, well, that doesn't, go in your blood and it will be, well, that's what fat does anyway. It doesn't matter if it's liquid or solid in your blood. It doesn't absorb into water. So that kind of throws that out of the way. But now, polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, what's the difference? Polyunsaturated fats have two or more double bonds. Poly, lots of, more than one. Unsaturated, which the molecular chain can be broken. They are weak. They are not stable. They oxidize quickly. They are more volatile. So when they say that polyunsaturated fat included in your diet will lower LDL cholesterol, that is true. But how they do it and what is going on in everything else is not good. Okay, so we know oxidation is bad. Inflammation caused by oxidation and glycation is bad. Now, when we ingest these things, for one, you can Google this and look at what the factory or what the mechanics are needed to make these things happen. Now, they take a refinery to extract, heat up, deodorize, stabilize, and make these things even remotely consumable to human beings. Processing, and we've been talking about this for a long time, is processed foods. Hyper processed foods, ultra processed foods are very bad. So the amount of work it takes to extract this oil from these seeds, it's a crazy long process. We're unable to do it naturally. So right there, if you're thinking from an evolutionary standpoint, there's no place. Now, yes, the omega-6 fatty acid that we need, that's essential, can be found all throughout nature in whole food form. I don't eat them, but seeds, nuts, meat, they all have omega-6 fatty acids. Specifically the one that I think is the most dangerous one is called linoleic acid. Now, when you're looking from an evolutionary standpoint and an omega-3, which is anti-inflammatory, omega-6 is inflammatory, and we do need a balance of those. But the ratio found in nature, and up until about 100-ish years ago, was about 1 to 1 or 1 to 4 to 1, omega-6 to omega-3. So the ratio was in that real small context. You're getting a little bit and a little bit. Now, if you look through the research, you'll find that we are probably sitting around 25 to 1. 25 times omega-3, 1. And right there, that's inflammatory. Right there, it shows you that there's going to be some inflammation going on. Now, the reason why these cause inflammation is because they're very confusing to your body. We store fat, and when our body breaks it down, specifically our liver breaks down the molecules to store fat, we store it in saturated and monounsaturated. Our body can handle these. The polyunsaturated confuses things, and because it's so volatile, because it oxidizes very easily, causes metabolic, probably specifically mitochondrial confusion. Now you get a lot of that, and that's not a good thing. So how do we eliminate this? You have to realize they're everywhere. And if you don't think they are, just look in your fridge. You think that there's no way you eat soybean oil? And these oils include soybean, canola, grapeseed, safflower, sunflower, corn, vegetable, cottonseed. Like all these seed oils are in everything. If they can put them in there, they will. They make money. They're cheap, and they fill the gaps. Not to mention, every single time you eat out at a restaurant, think about economics. They might finish with some extra virgin olive oil, but you can guarantee that their deep fryers are full of these vegetable oils. Now, heating them up, because they have a high smoke point, and because you can cook with them, does not mean anything on a molecular level. Just the fumes are toxic. There's stories about restaurant workers that have their clothes combusting in the dryer. Like that's pretty extreme. But these things, when they're reheated up because they're heated to extract, and they're used a bunch of chemicals to get them out of there, now they become volatile. Now, if they are volatile and they're prone to oxidation, before you even consume them, they are not the same as the lab tested way. So there's another argument right there. Just because it's good on paper does not mean what's happened in your body. And the structure and the volatility will depend on the journey of the oil into your stored fat cells. By the time it gets there, they are so prone to oxidation, they are so already rancid that no wonder there's mitochondrial confusion. So there's people out there, you know how I feel about sugar, and you know how I feel about carbohydrates. That's in context. Vegetable oils, there's none. There's no place for them. And you can have people argue all day long that yes, they do lower LDL cholesterol, but there is a very strong argument that LDL cholesterol is not the be-all end-all of heart disease. In fact, it's how it's functioning. It's not if it's there or not. It's how your liver and how your body is metabolizing this low-density lipoprotein that carries cholesterol and, antioxidants and all some stuff and cholesterol around, right? So that being said, we can now look at the nutritional value of vegetable oils. We'll take, say a tablespoon of canola oil. All right. Yes, probably about 120 calories-ish per tablespoon. Now, what does that bring us as far as nutrients? Nothing. There's no nutritional value. So when you're drinking Coke and drinking down the high fructose corn syrup, we call in those empty calories. Well, the seed oils, 9 calories per gram, so even more energy dense, but dysfunctional. And they don't bring anything to the table. If you look at honey, for instance, honey, yes, it's sugar. There's fructose, there's glucose, but there is some nutrients and some antimicrobial factors and probably some good things in there. It brings something to the table. High fructose corn syrup brings nothing. Corn oil brings nothing to your body. Absolute nothing. It is empty calories. There is no sense using it for any benefit whatsoever aside from being tasteless and making your food cook a little better. Now, I would argue, you use butter, use ghee, hard at room temperature, right? Use animal fat, tallow, lard, bacon grease, coconut oil. If you remove vegetable oils, specifically seed oils, and canola oils, rapeseed oil, like this anything that needs to be factory made, get rid of it. And if you don't believe me, let's play a little game. Open up your fridge and check every single thing in there. Look in your cupboard and look everything that's in a package. If there's not soybean, canola, cottonseed, some kind of vegetable shortening, some kind of thing in the vegetable oil family, I'll be surprised. Now, they're everywhere. I just saw a fantastic podcast, The Model Health Show with Shawn Stevenson. He's like, one of the great ambassadors of health, period. I urge you to check out his channel. I'll put a link below, but he interviewed Dr. Cate Shanahan. Now, she has been studying this kind of thing for like 15 to 20 years or something. And she ties it into everything. Metabolic dysfunction, diabetes, sugar. We know we have about 4 grams in our blood. You eat sugar, your blood sugar goes up, spikes insulin. We know that, right? With vegetable oils, make that worse. There is a whole bunch of scientific shit that goes on in your cell at a cellular level, at a mitochondrial level. The mitochondria are the powerhouses of your cell. The reason you have energy. They are very, very, very valuable to metabolic health, if not the thing that will dictate your metabolic health. So to take care of those guys is paramount. And now you can argue the only thing that polyunsaturated fats arguably do is lower LDL cholesterol. So that trade-off, even if that was a factor, I don't even think it's close. I would much rather get nutrient-dense, fat-soluble vitamins in butter, in beef tallow, in coconut oil. Now, you can break down these omega fatty acids, yes, but the problem is, and even omega-3s, they're volatile. They oxidize quickly. That's why there's arguably about how the fish oils, you got to watch, because sometimes the quality, if they've been on the shelf, they expire. They go rancid. This is a fact, guys. And, just getting back to Dr. Cate Shanahan, she put it out there, and I will post a link below, why we burn in the sun. I mean, I think it has to do a lot to do with cholesterol as well. But when your cells, specifically your adipose tissue, your fat cells, which are an organ, they're volatile. They're prone to oxidation. Now, sun damages that. Your skin is the last and first line of defense. From the inside, the last. From the outside, the first. We need the sun. It's, you can argue with me till the cows come home, but sunshine has been there since let there be light. So how is that possibly bad when all life, no pun intended, revolves around the sun? Right? So she's shown that when your fat cells are made up of these polyunsaturated fatty acids that are all confused, they can't break down the energy, they can't store, they get in the liposomal cellular membrane. That gets dysfunctional. And that's not to mention even the microgut, your microbiome in your gut gets so confused. And these things are rampant in our dietary foodstuffs today. So just eliminating them, that one thing, will give your body the chance to start rebuilding with the proper healthy fat. And I'm in school and they still tell us that these things are heart healthy, that, good fats. And they're processed, man-made, profit-driven garbage, you guys. And that's the best thing you can do today, is take a look at all those ingredients in your own cupboards, in your fridges, in your freezers, in your packages, and chuck them out, man. Get them out of there. Because it's undebatable that these things are, at best, empty calories. At least if you're going to eat fat, from this sense, bring in some nutrition with it. Bring in some fat-soluble vitamins. Some good things. And there's none of that in there. Let alone heat them up. Now, Dr. Cate Shanahan was also saying, this freaked me out. And this was amazing. I did not know this. But there are certain things and certain chemicals. Obviously, we've heard that cigarettes are bad for us. The chemicals that are in there, there's certain chemicals. Now, one specific chemical, I cannot remember from the top of my head. She actually has the research, and you'll have to go to the podcast to get this. I will post it below. A serving of French fries that have been deep fried in volatile, oxidized vegetable oil, one serving has the same amount of this chemical as one pack of cigarettes. We are all over people about quitting smoking. We are all over people about how bad it is. Just that being possible freaks me out. So every time you eat deep fried shit at a restaurant, if they don't change their oil every serving, they don't put new fresh oil in there. Right there, that's oxidization. It's molecular structures and chemistry. So I hope you can realize that this will cause negative feedback loops and bad things to happen from a metabolic standpoint, from a confusion standpoint with hormones. And if you cut these things out, just do it today. No more vegetable oils to the best of your ability. Cook food at home. You're in control of it. It will help you. And to the extreme, may do things that you didn't think were possible. At least your fat storage, your cells, your adipose tissue will start to cycle out the bad stuff. And getting the good fat back in will start building back your fat. And it might take a while, guys, because this is decades. decades long. These things have only been around for less than 100 years that we've been consuming. And they make money. And from everything that I believe in, anything that is financially driven, we have to question. And we have to ask. Just because they've proven it safe in the package does not mean how it acts in your body and the cascade effect long term. So that's it, guys. Go into your fridge, check out all your ingredients. I bet you they're everywhere. And you cannot deny it. So start with that. I encourage everybody to. It's a good thing to do. Get back to the good fat. The fat that our grandfathers and our grandparents ate before all this shit came out, where they tried to screw with our bodies and our natural instincts and our natural ebb and flow. So I hope you do it. And you know what? You'll be better for it. Worst case, you get vitamins with the fat soluble vitamins with the fat that you're eating from animal foods and coconut oil. Extra virgin olive oil is good. It's a monounsaturated fat. It's good. Just don't cook with it. And avocado, the same thing. Cook with ghee. Cook with beef tallow. Cook with bacon grease. I mean, we can go really, really deep into this, but the most important thing for you to understand is these things are poison. They are toxic to your body with every metabolic function in your being. These are not good. And if you care about everybody else's health, about the people that are drinkers, the people that are smokers, the people that are... You need to take a look at yourself and get this shit out of your diet as best you can, as fast as you can. And then things will start turning around. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Please hit that thumbs up button. It helps me. And if you think that this can value somebody else or this can help somebody, please message me, comment below, or email. And, I will gladly share my opinion on things. And I think I've got a pretty good grasp of what's working for me anyway. And, we have to separate nutrition from what the fuck is this food? We have to. Because we've been lied to all over the place. And the only way to get there is to do your own due diligence and get into it. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. And we will see you soon.